one of the things that actually fascinates me about them, even more so than the other birds of prey, is how incredibly different they can look in size and shape and color. The variety is really amazing. There are over 200 species of owl found all around the world, and it's amazing how much they can differ from one another. That said, no matter how different these birds look, the birds you see today, how extremely different they look, how different they may behave, they are all the same in the sense that they do the same job in the wild. A nocturnal predator. This is Napoleon. He's quite a character. So, yeah, he's a pretty striking looking bird, a handsome little guy. And here's an example of a bird that's not native to the United States. You're not going to see one of these anywhere in the country. This bird was bred in captivity in New York State. So there are a few of them in captivity. This is called a white-faced owl. It's in the scops owl family. There are over 50 different species of scops owl, I believe. All small birds, and this particular scops owl is native to South Africa. Now, for those of you who are familiar with our local birds, you may have thought that at first glance this was a screech owl. Very similar to our eastern screech owl. We obviously here in North America have a gray and a red screech owl, and this is basically Africa's version of our screech owl. One of the things that you'll notice if you study birds of prey is that no matter where in the world you look, there are birds of similar sizes doing the same job wherever they may be native to. Small owls catch small prey, medium-sized owls catch medium-sized prey, and the larger, more powerful birds catch the larger prey. So they're all doing the same job. They're simply tackling different prey. And their main job as a predator, as a hunter obviously, is to eliminate the weak and the sick. That's one of their main jobs. You know, if there's an animal out there with an illness or a disease, it can spread that illness throughout the population, the group of animals in which it lives. And obviously, to have healthy populations, that situation needs to be controlled. So predators do control that. As far as size, what they catch and eat, a variety. They are all opportunists. In other words, they will catch a variety of prey, whatever they can. You know what, I'm going to come right around your way, so I'll be right over there. They are opportunists. They'll catch anything they can to survive. They're limited in what they can catch by their size and speed and strength and so forth. That's, you know, that's common sense enough. So a little bird like this is going to catch insects, crickets and grasshoppers hopping around on the ground, maybe a small snake or a lizard, a small bird that it might surprise at night. But the main prey are going to be small rodents like mice that they catch on the ground. They do tend to focus on certain types of prey in certain areas. Many of the smaller owls nest or live in a cavity, a hole in a tree. They're commonly called cavity nesters because, you know, being a small bird like this, although it's a predator, they have to protect themselves from other larger, more powerful predators. Whether it's even a larger owl, they will prey upon one another, believe it or not. You know, keep in mind, they're not social creatures out there. They're very independent, very aloof, and they will prey upon one another. So protection for this bird would involve hiding in a hole in a tree, especially during the day when the other daytime predators are out there flying around. Camouflage also helps to protect him. The gray color and all the stripes and spots and markings that make up his feathers help him to blend into the bark of a tree a little bit. If you were going to be hiding out in the forest, he'd sit right up against the trunk of a tree, close those brightly colored eyes. They're very reactive creatures. They don't think objectively about things the way we do. You know, animals, especially birds like this, they don't really have time to think out there in the wild. Now, that might not make sense offhand, but when you think about it, they need to react quickly to whatever they see. If it's something positive, if it's a prey animal, they see something running around on the ground, they'd better react quickly or that opportunity might be lost. By the same token, if it's a predator approaching, they'd better react quickly or their lives might be taken. So when he sees something unusual like that overhead, he reacts quickly, flinches. Anything approaching you from above or behind in nature is usually coming to catch you and eat you. And that's that's deep-rooted instinct, so that's why they react to quick movements or sudden strange shapes above. So he's constantly scanning the room, as you can see. And they have a flexible neck. You know, often it can look like it can spin that head in a complete circle. He can't quite turn his head in a complete circle. He can turn his head about 270 degrees. They have twice the number of vertebrae in their neck that we do. I think we have 7. They've got 14. So, and really all that is everything about the bird is practical. Everything serves a purpose in nature, even if we don't know what that purpose is. Everything helps it survive. That flexible neck just helps them when they're hunting. When an owl is flying around out there, they're moving from tree to tree and place to place, and they're looking down with their powerful eyesight. They're also listening closely for the movement of the prey on the ground. And we'll talk a little bit more about the hearing when we look at the next owl. But when they're up there and they're moving around from place to place, they really don't want to attract a lot of attention. You know, they want to be not only camouflaged to blend into their environment, but they want to keep as motionless as possible so they don't attract any attention. Because if the prey could see or hear the owl coming, it would escape underground and make their job much more difficult. So if the owl is sitting in a tree and he's able to just